Debbie's Kitchen, and I have yet another apple recipe to show you. It is apple pie bars, and the first thing you need to do is set your oven to 375, and then you have a greased 9x13 pan.
Alright.
And you will need to have 8 apples thinly sliced. I made apple cake earlier, so I went ahead and sliced up extra apples. So they've been sitting a little bit, which is why they oxidized a little bit, but don't worry about that. It'll all taste good.
Yep.
So the first thing we're gonna do is, this is 2.5 cups of regular flour,
Okay.
to which we are going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2, 3. Alright, and then I'm just going to use this to stir it up just really quick here, just to mix it up. And then, oh wait, there's more.
There's more.
And this is 1 cup of shortening. I just have the store brand from Walmart, and pretty much Walmart is all over the place, so. So we're going to mix this. Actually, I think I better switch this to the bigger bowl because I'm going to have a mess on my hands. I think that's what I intended to do, but I got sidetracked. It kind of looks like the 2001 Space Odyssey with the marshmallow pile. Kinda. Okay. So we're going to dump this whole lot into the bigger bowl because we don't need to make things more complicated or more messy. So anyway, I appreciate all the likes and shares and comments you all have been giving me, so keep it up. And I love hearing from you. Whoops.
So what exactly are we doing here?
Basically, we're using a pastry blender to cut in the shortening with the flour mixture.
Okay.
And eventually it will look like pea-sized gravel. See, as it's starting to come together. Basically, the flour mixture is going to encapsulate the shortening, and that helps make for a flaky crust. There's a word for it, but that's pretty much what happens. So, we're just going to mix this up. The recipe is 2 full pages, so when you see it, it's not that bad. There's 3 main steps. There's the crust making, which you will reserve part of for the crumb topping. Then you layer in the apples on top of the crust. Then you sprinkle some seasoning. Well, seasoning sounds like a savory, but it's cinnamon sugar, pretty much. And you put that on top of the apples. Then you assemble your crumb topping. See, it's coming together.
Wow.
Alright. So just mix it and mix it good. Alright. So, scrape that off. And I actually have my handy dandy dough mixer over here. We're just eyeballing it. Alright. Now, for your entertainment, we are going to have 1/2 cup of milk and have a whisk. And we are going to have 2 egg yolks. I separated them earlier, and for some reason, even though they're the same batch of eggs, the yolks are different hues. So anyway, put those in with the milk. Oh, it's stuck. Alright, so we're going to whip the egg and the milk together.
Does that happen with the yolk where it sticks like that?
I don't know. I have the fan going in here. I don't know if that's going to be too loud in here. But that might have dried out the yolk on the edge of the bowl. So, Alright. Now we're going to take the egg yolk and milk mixture and add it to our crust mixture. So we're just going to mix it around. See? Oy. This is really wet. I almost think that batter is too wet. I'm going to put a tiny bit more flour in there. Ugh. Because it will actually be hard to press out into the pan at that level of stickiness. So sometimes you have to use your prior baking knowledge and just how things look. There, that's better. See, it's not quite as sticky. See, that little bit made just enough difference. That was maybe like a tablespoon more flour. So, tap, tap, tap. Okay, so we now have the crust, and it says to reserve about 1/4 of it. So let me just eyeball that. So the best way to get 1/4 is kind of separate it into 2 halves, and then take half of a half, which is 1/4.
That makes total sense.
Yes. We don't need to overthink things. We just need to use our brains sometimes. So, crust in the greased pan. This part was a little tricky the last time I did it. So, and I think degreasing the dough actually helped. Degreasing, making the dough less sticky. That's what I meant to say.
I was just saying I need to degrease your dough.
Alright. Well, if a cup of shortening doesn't make it greasy, going into a greased pan certainly will.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to flip this around. Just kind of get the dough all the way through.
You just kind of spread it around with your hand.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, these are 2 of the most handy tools in the kitchen. Just make sure they're clean to start with, and you wash them. Every time you change tasks in the kitchen, you need to wash your hands. So that's why my hands are so dry, because I'm forever washing them. Like when I cook, when I bake, and when I do both simultaneously. I'm always doing something in downtime. Alright, so that's relatively smoothed out. Nobody's going to see the lumpies. And you can even use a small dough roller. It looks like a rolling pin, but it's like a metal, not a metal, but a plastic. Not plastic, but wooden roller. I had to have the fan turned off because it was blowing my hair in my face and tickling my nose. And I didn't want to have to worry about itching my nose while I'm handling food. So now I'm layering the apples. I used a device called an apple core peeler slicer earlier. Basically, it's a little device that you clamp onto a countertop or a cutting board, and you put the apple on it, and it rotates, and it has a little metal hoop that cuts the skin off.
Huh.
So, but anyway, these look a little funky only because they oxidized a bit by sitting out, but they're perfectly fine. Don't overthink it, just eat it. Alright. I think people spend too much time overthinking things. But like I like to tell some people, the only exercise some people get is jumping to conclusions.
Cute.
Yes. Alright. Okay. And one of our favorite terms at work is chismosa and chisme. Basically, a gossiper and a gossip. So, basically, Our policy is we don't talk about other people unless they are there in the conversation or have given us permission to say whatever we want to say about them.
Do you talk about Bruno?
No, we don't talk about Bruno. Oh. That's one of the most classic lines that follows like the Let It Go song. Just let it go. We have way too many Disney references in our house.
Yep.
Alright. So doesn't that look pretty? All these little apple circles?
Do.
Yeah. And if you don't have a fancy apple gadget, just a good old peeler and knife will do the job as well. But these were nice, fresh, and firm apples, so I figured they would work well on the slicer.
Well, just out of curiosity, where do you get like a slicer like that?
Most stores that sell home goods and kitchen gadgets will have them. I got this one from Pampered Chef when a friend had a party. So that's so I've had it for a while. I just don't use it as much because it's just one extra thing to wash. But then tonight, when I was washing like, gosh, 36 apples, or I cleaned 36 apples and then I had to prep them, I'm like, I gotta use the little wind-up thing.
Yep.
Anyway, so now we're going to make the cinnamon sugar sprinkle for this. And let's put that in the sink. And we have a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. 1/4 cup brown sugar. And put this in this little tiny bowl here. And then we also have a 1/2 cup of white sugar. Oh, I'll put that lid on better later. Just remind me it's loose.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to do the 1/4 cup twice over. All right. And a teaspoon of cinnamon. Doesn't that sound good?
Yep.
So, we've got a teaspoon. Shall we get up close?
Well, the dog is like right behind you. If you were to take just a 1/4 step back, you'd probably step on her head.
Well,
She tends to like be right up against your feet.
yup. She's my shadow. Alright. So, I'm just gonna...
I was just kind of worried you were going to take a step back and you would end up tripping and falling on your butt.
Well, you know, the other day, she was following me and I opened up a drawer and she promptly walked into it. There was an audible conk on her little head. Alright. Ooh-wee. Hot, hot, hot.
So you mix the brown sugar and the white sugar.
Yeah.
And you just kind of like...
I'm just stirring it together.
You used a whisk.
Yeah, because it was handy.
Okay.
Alright, I'm making a mess here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be using this for the crumb topping, and it's got the same ingredients. So, work smarter, not harder.
When in doubt, get a bigger bowl.
Yes. Brown sugar kind of clumped up to itself.
Oh, pretty good.
So, now we're going to sprinkle this over the apples, kind of like you would the filling of an actual apple pie. So, look at that. Doesn't that look yummy?
Does look good.
So now, we are going to make the topping. So I'll actually just use this bowl. Okay. So, this is the reserved crust. So, we're going to add in a tablespoon of brown sugar. Oh, I'm going to have to get some more brown sugar soon. Brown sugar. Cinnamon.
It's cinnamon.
Yes.
I was just saying it looks like brown sugar.
Heh. You could tell I use cinnamon a lot. It goes in my pumpkin desserts. So, tablespoon of brown sugar. Okay.
Cinnamon.
Yeah, I'm supposed to use brown sugar.
Okay.
I got the cinnamon. I got cinnamon on the brain because I've been making cinnamon stuff all day. Alright, let's try this again. When in doubt, double check your recipe. Especially when your brain has been baking all day and you're getting your wires crossed. I've developed quite a little baking business at work, and I got a few orders I have yet to fill, so I gotta work on those too. Alright, so that's a tablespoon of brown sugar, a tablespoon of granulated, doop-a-doop, and 2 tablespoons of flour. Sound like a game show announcer. Alright. Yeah, that's kind of a heaping. It needs to be a little bit more dry anyway, based on how it was last time I made it. Okay. And it says a handful of crushed pecans or walnuts. Basically, this is the itty bitty bits of walnuts that's left after I chop them. So it's kind of like walnut dust.
Huh.
So I figured that will suit for the crushed walnuts. So that's a little handful. It didn't really seem like much last time, so I figured I'd add a little bit more this time. And you know what? I think I'm going to try this, because last time I made it, it did not break up as well as it should have. And it was harder to get all over the apple pie base. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Just breaking it up and making a mess in the process. So I think what I'm going to do, put that there so it doesn't get dirty. And you know what the best thing about whisk tines is you can pull them apart if you get something stuck in there. Here's the pastry blender.
Right in front of you, right next to the bowl.
Oh, the little thingy? Oh, it's right here.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, so I'm just going to do this.
I thought you were talking about your little blue spoon there.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of kitchen tools that we have. And one of my dear friends gave me a whole bunch of bakeware and kitchenware that a friend of hers was getting rid of. She snagged it for me because she knows I love to bake. So, for me it's like a kid in a candy store. It's like, woohoo! New toys to play with. Alright. So, we have the oven at 375. And this will cook for 40 minutes. Alright. Just trying to get all the powdered mixture into the wet mixture. It's not blending as well as I had thought it would, but it's getting there. So, alright, I think that's good. Alright, so what we're going to do now, is, sound like a redneck fixing to tell a story.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to crumble this over the apples, kind of make a loose crumb topping. Yep, and Dahlia got a bite I dropped on the floor. Ah. Doesn't that look good?
It does look good.
So, make sure you like and subscribe and share this video and leave us a comment. We love hearing from you, and it gives me ideas of things to do for future videos, because I love to cook and expand my knowledge. So, alright. So, now that we've got this all assembled, we're going to bake it for 40 minutes. And when it's done, we'll bring you back and show you what it looks like coming out of the oven. Got the cabinets open. We're in the middle of baking several things tonight. So, anyway, our apple pie bars have baked for 40 minutes. Ooh, yeah, I need something else to hold this up. What do you think?
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah. So, 40 minutes, and then we're going to let them sit and cool for a little bit.
Okay.
And then we will bring you back for a taste test.
You can see we're running an assembly line here.
Yeah. Alright. We're making chocolate chip cookies for pre-orders for work. And bread pudding. And the apple pie bars, which we decided to show you guys because you haven't seen this recipe before.
Yeah.
So, let me get some plates. Alright. Okay. So now, we're going to cut a little wedge out of this apple pie. It has to cool a bit before we cut it.
But how long did it take for us to do it?
How long did it bake, or how long did it
take to
cool?
cool?
I would say at least 20 minutes. We were busy working on other stuff. Look at that.
Gosh.
Doesn't that look yummy?
This does look good.
Alright. Okay. Well, did you want to do the taste test?
No, I got Logan stayed up from the taste test.
Alright.
12:30 in the morning.
I know.
Keeping baker's hours.
Yep. Okay. Here.
There he is. Yep.
Hot cookie sheet. I don't remember if you tried the last batch that I made.
I don't believe I did. Kind of like a cobbler meets apple pie. It's got the cobbler crust.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Alright, so there you have it. It's good. And it's a nice variation on classic apple pie. So thank you again for joining us, and make sure you like and subscribe and share this video to your friends. And leave us a comment and come back again soon for another recipe.
Thank you for watching Miss Cindy's Kitchen. To get more recipes like this one, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Share it out to your friends, family, and neighbors, and leave us a comment to let us know how this recipe worked for you. And don't forget to hit that like button. Again, thank you for watching Miss Cindy's Kitchen.